Disclaimer: the following video can contain spoilers. The success of John Wick brought the inevitable copy-paste within this type of action movie, where, unfortunately, now you can say, it's John Wick, but with so many variations to this, you can now essentially say this type of movie is its own genre now. This movie is no different. The Beekeeper follows Mr. Clay, a retired beekeeper who, after the death of Mrs. Parker, resurfaces to bring justice to those who scammed her. It's like John Wick, but with its own spin to it. You got a retired ex-secret organization member who specialized in fighting that is brought back into the playing field when someone close to them is killed. The difference between these two films is the story itself, which is what I will be talking about in this video.
There's gonna be a fire.
Okay.
To me, this movie felt like a self-insert, almost like a fanfiction of someone who fell victim to a scam, and for the past couple of days could only think about getting justice. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. Heck, I was in that situation myself, which is why I say that this movie felt that way. It was probably why it felt a bit cathartic at the end for me. I mean, who knows? Anyways, unfortunately, this movie wasn't as simple as I would have hoped. With the inclusions of secret organizations, mercenaries, and even the president, this movie goes above and beyond with its spectacle that I felt slightly disappointed at the end. It would have been cool to see a simple story about these scams, where the scammers are brought to justice without the need of a huge spectacle. I do understand that it might be a little harder to go down that route when it comes to entertainment and a well-rounded story. And because I did enjoy that spectacle at times, it wasn't really a negative thing, is what I'm trying to say. From the action sequence to the interesting choices like a beekeeping organization, I enjoyed the movie, though of course this movie has its flaws. I also like Mr. Clay's confidence, mannerisms, and sarcasm. It made some scenes shine a bit more in my opinion.
You want to burn it down. Do you know what they do here?
Buddy, I'm counting to 3.
1, 2, 3. There. I did it for you.
The comparisons from his actions to actual beekeepings were cheesy but enjoyable. That is, until it wasn't just metaphors, but actual regulations within the secret agency. Because at first I thought it was a silly way of saying things because he is a beekeeper. But then, when we understand he is a beekeeper, it becomes, well, silly. Get it?
Someone hurts an older person. Sometimes they're left to face the hornets alone. I'm a beekeeper. I protect the hive.
I say this movie is a fanfiction not only because of the story itself and how it was presented, but because there were several unanswered questions. For example, I don't even know if the charity got the money back, or every victim of the scammers for that matter. I'm always curious to see how secret organizations keep secret when situations like this happen. It looks like an impossible task to me. And lastly, I do feel that this movie started with the idea of someone getting justice from scammers, but quickly ended up becoming much more.
There goes my job. And there goes all your data.
It could have been worse, and thankfully it wasn't. This movie did manage to create a nice world/story that, in a weird way, is a feel-good kind of movie. Or at least it was to me.
And he burns the place to the ground.
Overall, The Beekeeper was an enjoyable movie. It has nice action sequences and a charismatic protagonist you care about and follow through this journey. Although part of that story is far-fetched, containing secret organizations, mercenaries, and even the president, it was still grounded enough to not be so distracting. I just wish we could have gotten a scene or two where we actually saw the money being refunded back to the people who lost it. And even though to me it felt like a fanfiction, there's really nothing wrong with that, because the story overall was still enjoyable. But anyways, those are just my thoughts. Did you enjoy the movie? Let me know what you thought about it down below, and I'll see you in the next review. Until then, God bless.